I am super excited for today's interview, the summer interview series. I feel like when we take off for the weekends that it's forever in between and in between interviews, because during the week there's only one day in between, but on the weekends there's several days in between. So I don't know, maybe we might have to add something else in. I don't know, because I really miss doing this. I love doing this so much. Tarah's hopping on here now. 1 second here. Oh, there you are. Yay, it's working today. I'm super duper excited. So yeah, we've changed our time a little bit today just because time zones, right? Time zone differences is always interesting when you're trying to figure that out. I literally count back in my... Can hear us and see us and we're not paused. Can you just comment below? I just had a pop-up that said it wasn't working. There was low connection. I'm upstairs instead of downstairs by the router today. Still adding Tarrah. So before Tarrah hops on here, I just want to give you a kind of just a reminder of what is integrated living. Integrated living is where you're combining your passions with your number one priorities in your life. And you're doing it in a way that really just sits well with who you are. And you can feel good about it, because I think that, you know, a lot of times, it's not working today. A lot of times in our, oh, there she is, good. Okay, I'm just giving a brief on integrated living and what that means, Tarrah, and then we'll get into it. But thanks for joining me.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me, Chelsea. Good to see you.
Yeah, I'm super excited. So yeah, so integrated living is really just finding a way to do what you want to do in your life and that you feel good about. And you can literally get up every single day excited for how you're living your life because you love what you do and you're doing it in a way that just fits with you and sits well with you. So today we have Tarrah on here and I'm super excited. I got to cruise with Tarrah on our big dream trip. And we got to have dinner together and we got to hang out and we got to hold some sloths and see some different animals together. So that was super fun. We also got to ride back in a taxi together and I got to hear a little bit more of Tarrah's story, which she's going to share today. I love just that she's an entrepreneur at heart. She's going to share more of what that looked like with you. But would you like to give us a little intro, Tarrah? Just tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you? Kids, married? Tell me about yourself.
Well, thanks again for having me on. I really am excited to share with you guys. And so I live in Michigan, near the lake, Holland, on the west side of the state. And I have 4 children, a girl, boy, girl, girl. And the oldest is going to be a senior in high school next year. So
wow.
I know, right? My baby is finishing up elementary school, so we're in that transition stage there. But yeah, I married for 19 years and 2 puppies. I mean, kids play sports. We're all over the place. Just, you know, a busy time of life. So
super fun though.
It is
super fun, right? So tell me about your journey as an entrepreneur. I know I've shared a little bit that you know, you've done brick and mortar, you've done online, you've done teaching, and now network marketing. So just tell us a little bit about that journey for you. What really got you into it?
Well, yeah, I think that we share something in common, and I'm kind of like a serial entrepreneur, right? I think that when you talked about this, about how we just, I don't know if we were bad employees, but we just don't want, we just maybe like that flexibility and that freedom and being able to do things that we, you know, want to do in our family life. And that trumps going into a 9-to-5 job for us. And so we're able to kind of, you know, serve, teach is kind of the categories that I was most passionate about. Learning about others is something that I enjoy. And so, yeah, I had 2 brick and mortar businesses, and the last one, you know, the traditional sense of businesses. But the last one I had was teaching kids to sew and teaching a combination of like fiber arts and kids sewing classes. So I really enjoyed it. I loved watching the kids create something that they didn't think they could do and end up, you know, being able to even just take that first stitch and to be able to do all the stitches on the wheel and just, they were so excited and you're just so happy. And I love that that was a skill that they could take with them in life. So it's something I really enjoyed. I wrote curriculum and taught that. It was more along the lines of fiber arts. And so me and my husband actually restored a 100-year-old loom, floor loom.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And heddles and all the such, if anybody knows anything about that. It was quite the process. And we had a lot of fun doing it, though. We learned a lot, and so we could make rugs, and it's like the ones that you bang, like. And I really,
awesome.
Yeah, it was, and the kids really enjoyed it because if they were a little hyper, needed to do something, I let them go over and take a few bangs on the loom. So,
that's great. That's so great.
And I needed it myself some days. So.
I'm sure. What ages were you teaching? I don't know if we ever talked about that. What ages?
No, we didn't. It was primarily 6, like first grade through high school, actually. So I had, so I had different after school workshops and stuff like that. So.
Okay, very cool. So I know you shared this with me, but what did you love about it? I mean, you kind of already covered that. You love teaching and doing that, but what just didn't work for you? What did you not like about it?
Well, it kind of interestingly, my story kind of stopped abruptly, and I feel like God just closed a door for my business in the traditional sense that way, because my husband's business was going to move us to the Netherlands for a year, and so I closed down my shop, sold a bunch of things, and didn't renew my rent. And so I, was closing that up, putting it away for at least a year. And then 2 weeks before we were supposed to go, they said, sorry, we're not going to do that now. And I was like, what? You're kidding, right? It was hard. It was just something we had to go through, deciding whether I wanted to reopen or find another space, which we looked at several spaces local. And the problem I had with doing that, and I loved doing that, is just the feeling of just being alone in the business. Even though my husband was very supportive, my family was very supportive, and the kids that I had in class liked what we were doing. I felt alone in those day-to-day decisions, in ideas. You had to be the trash collector and the teacher and the electricity, the rent payer, the accountant, everything. So to me, that was just a little bit too spread thin and overwhelming. And I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of traditional business people, they specialize or they have a passion in one area. And then having a small business is just like, you have to wear all these hats, all these different days or times, and sometimes at the same time. And it just got a bit overwhelming after 4 years. And so I feel like I just took that opportunity away from me during that time and just said, you need to, scale back and you need to focus. And at that time, actually, I did have my Shackley business as well, but I wasn't really working it like a full-time business. And so what I didn't love about the traditional business was obviously rent and all those things, but wearing those multiple hats and all the time. So with this kind of a business in network marketing, it gives me the opportunity to do what I love and teach and help people and guide people through different decisions and research and process those things with people. But I'm not in the business by myself, but I'm in business for myself and for others. And so it's a different, I don't have to do all that background stuff. I have people around me helping me with different things that it has been the biggest difference. So that's to me the best change.
Well, and I remember you had shared that with me, that was something that, you were really struggling with because there was only one of you. And I had a similar experience. I had an Etsy business and there's only one of us. And even when you bring on, if you have the assets to bring on other employees, it's not necessarily their vision. Right. So the level of commitment is never the same, right? I mean, if you look at any business, I'm sure that the owner of Chick-fil-A and his employees, even though they're amazing, they probably still don't love it as much as he does and aren't as invested as he is, right? So yeah, I remember. So how has your transition, you've switched gears, right? You put your Shackley business into full high gear, right? So how has that been different for you? Because you said you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. What is the
Right.
difference
Well,
there?
the difference is I have a community of people who are like-minded, so they have that same vision, and they get where I'm coming from, but yeah, I still can make that final decision on my own of how I want to go about and approach business or business decisions or what's right for me and my family at this time. And you don't need to feel like, if I drop a ball, it's going down the tubes like as soon as you do that. This business is set up to have residual income, and when I was doing a class, the only time I would get paid after that class is if they repeated, if they came back, if I taught another class, right? So I was trading that time for dollars. But with this kind of a business, you do the work once and you continually give value and educate, and then that keeps just paying you that way with the residual income aspect. So
Yeah, like empowering other people, right?
absolutely.
Because like you said, it's not on our shoulders. Their vision is their own. So yeah, so
Right.
that's so great. So, reflecting on, what you do, how has this worked for your top priorities in your life? I know family is big for you and your kids are all very active. How does this work on a day-to-day basis for you?
Well, like today, thank you for changing. We
go with the flow. We're cool.
We do, and that is the thing too. I can fit this into a lot of different spaces in my life that I felt like were almost like dead spaces, like sitting in carpool, like waiting for my kids to get out of swimming, and and being able to do carpool because I'm available. And
I guess you can't really take your sewing machine in your car, right?
No,
I don't
that
know,
is the
can
hard
you?
part, and yeah, there's a lot of setup involved.
Sure.
Yeah, maintenance too.
Sure.
But those things are all. This kind of a business is mobile. It's online. It's something that I can quick send a message to somebody, and if I'm just things pop in my head, I'm a bit ADD, so I'm like, okay, something pops in my head, I'm like, all right, I can go ahead and like text that person right now, or
Sure.
touch base with somebody that I need to. And so yeah, that's been really great. But this is the business where I have just learned so much about myself and personal development that I'm just so excited to pass along to other people, and just the little nuggets of information that I come across by developing personal development, and books that I'm reading, and things that I'm hearing on podcasts, and different things that I'm happy to share with others. And that's about building a team, and about building a group of people that are like-minded and want to do the same thing. So yeah, and you can fit it into those little spaces in your life, because I'm super busy. Everybody is, but it's like right now I am really busy. I thought diapers were tough, and I thought,
running your
into
calendar.
Preschool, yeah,
Right?
that is a full-time job, right?
Yeah.
So
Well, I want to go back there to what you said about helping other people, right? And sharing what you've learned. I just read in a book, or it was a post, I don't know, something by John C. Maxwell, but he was asking the question, leadership is not just for us. Really, the measure of your leadership is, are you helping other people to be leaders, right? Are you teaching them what you've learned and sharing what you're learning? And I think you hit the nail on the head there, right? Empowering other people to dive into personal development.
Definitely. And that's, I know that, a few people, and it's not just about the products, right? It's not about, I'm so happy when people get great results from the products that we offer. That's like, it really gets my heart. But when somebody says, what, I took a step and did something that I didn't think I could do, which a lot of it is health and wellness. People don't really give themselves credit and say they can make those changes when they are in a habit. It's been a long time, but when they get to a point where they want to make those changes, and being alongside them to watch them, just like my little kids in sewing, when they could do it, it was just a little thing. And it's, to me, it might look differently than it does to them. It's really big to them, and I get to celebrate that with them. So a lot of similarities, and I just really enjoy that in a leadership role, and being able to pass on those things.
So any advice you would give to other entrepreneurs at heart that maybe are feeling the weight of a brick and mortar business or trading time for money or wearing all the hats? What advice would you give for people in that situation?
I would tell them that they need to find out what they are really interested in, and not like I said, like bags or supplements or this or that, but like, are you interested in serving people, and what's a vehicle that you could use to do that, and what kind of community would you like to surround yourself with, and just to go for it, to really, you're going to need grit. It's not an easy path, but really nothing that we do and do well and do with purpose is. So, yeah. And it's the same with, raising kids, right? It's just hard some days. Hi, buddy. It's hard some days, and you get to be, some days you have it all together and some days you don't, right? So, so, we learn as we go. And I really appreciate the level of depth in the company that we're in, because this company has been around for over 60 years. And we have people who have been through all of this before us. We don't need to look far to find people who will be happy to help us through these things. And to guide us, so we can just pass that along.
Yeah, I think that's so powerful. Is there anything else that you'd like to say before we wrap up here? I know you got to get on the road, and
I do, yeah. I just think that if someone is interested in knowing more, that they should reach out to one of us and just talk about really, is this the right fit for them? Because there is such an opportunity for people who want to just fit this into, their carpool time or nap time or whatever. And it can fit in so many different ways. And it would just be a good idea just to take a look at an extra stream of income that might work out for your family. So
that is so true. I mean, financially, I mean, I see that over and over and over again. It's so smart to create multiple streams of income, and most people have one, and that's it, right?
No.
So like you said, with your husband's job change, I mean, like, things that we don't plan, right? And I mean, I know it was just location and everything, but right? Things that we need to think about. So, Tarrah, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. All right. Well, enjoy your pickups, safe travels.
Okay. All right.
All that.
I appreciate it.
Take care,
Thanks,
Tarrah.
Chelsea.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Wasn't that great, you guys? Drop any questions you have for Tarrah below. Especially if you're an entrepreneur at heart and you are feeling like you're hitting a wall with trading your time for your money or whatever it is, she can really relate to you in those struggles because she's been there and she's done so many different avenues of just being an entrepreneur in different ways in her life. But I love her story because she is such, just a determined person. She knew what she wanted. She knew she didn't want to settle, and she just kept trying something until she really found a good fit for her. And I love that we get to do this together. I love that I got to meet her and cruise with her and pick her brain and, just be inspired by her. But I think, really bottom line, it comes down to personal development, always trying to get better. And if you are not in a personal development plan, if you don't have a plan for how you're going to grow and be better tomorrow than you were today, then I would encourage you to reach out to one of us and we will share our favorites. I have mastermind groups going using John Maxwell's different growth books. And it really is the best investment that you can possibly make in yourself is learning. And there's so much free training out there for growth. I hope you enjoyed this today. If you're watching the replay, then comment replay. We'd love to hear the questions that you have, the aha moments you've had, how you're inspired from this. And like I said, any questions that you do have. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day and have fun out there. Hopefully you have great weather here in sunny CA. It is great. They say you pay for the weather. With the prices, I think that might be true. I hope you guys enjoy this and we will talk soon. Take care, guys.